So this project I want to call The Dark Side of Photography. A new series on my channel, a long form series for people who are interested in long form, diving a little bit more into process and editing process, just talking about photography in general. Let's dive in. I've got my shots here from the lab, and with my film photography, I try my absolute hardest to not over edit. And it's such a different process compared to digital. So I'm just gonna drop them in. This is really exciting because this is the first time I've actually seen them. Here we go. These are all the shots that I've taken from Japan. And I was shooting on an 800 speed film. This is the first time that I've ever shot on this film stock. I probably will have to do a whole video on this film because even the packaging, like, am I in focus? Even the packaging on this thing is just so gorgeous, it's epic. But less about the packaging and more about the shots, Luke. So here we go. Let's see what we've got. Yo, sweet. I think I'm just gonna start editing. Let's see what we can get these images to do. So, like, straight out the bat, you can see that I was pushing this film quite a lot. I think I even pushed it one stop because I was pretty bold. I was pretty bold with my shooting style. This, I guess, is street photography in Japan, and I'm pretty sure we're in Tokyo. Yes, we are in Tokyo. It's so funny when I make these edit videos, because this happened last time. When I like try and concentrate on editing, it's like I almost can't multitask and I forget how to articulate my words. So, I mean, I don't really want to do much more to this. There's some like really quite obvious like green, but for the best part, I'm pretty happy. I love the halation that we're getting off this film, and you know, this is quite a fast motion shot, and there doesn't seem to be too much motion blur. The camera, this was shot on the Contax T2, and I absolutely love this guy. It's awesome, and you know, straight out of the box, I'm pretty happy with that being my first shot, and it's in focus, so that's half the battle done. And as you can see, I've not really done a huge amount of editing. I've just sort of like dropped the contrast a little bit, and it's brought a lot more detail out, in my opinion. It's made it a bit more moodier. And that's it with it, like film photography. I don't really want to edit too much, because why would you shoot on film if you're just gonna overly edit? So yeah, here with this one, this I think that was a Porsche. The lights definitely, as you can see, have obviously caught my eye. I like the composition of this shot quite a lot. I love how the road markings almost run parallel with the signage. It's sort of like cutting up, and it sort of like framed the vehicle nicely in the middle. And the fact that it's a pretty cool sports car, I believe it's a Porsche, a very shiny Porsche. Oh, here we go. Instantly just, oopsie. Instantly just dropping those blacks. You can see that it's doing so much. Yeah, this film is fucking cool. I might just play with the whites, make it pop a little bit. Less is more, less is more. Oh, that's better. It's almost like I want to crush the blacks like completely. Oh, that makes it super moody. Maybe a bit too moody. Is that too dark? I don't know. Is that too dark? Like, I'm gonna meet in the middle. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I love the details on the car bonnet, and I love the lights. I think it's a really playful shot. There's not a huge amount extra I will be doing to this image. Again, less is more. I've sort of taken out the green, sort of taken the fogginess out of the image. Just adding in contrast. That's pretty much all I find myself doing with editing film photography. I kind of love it. Like, I remember when I used to shoot a lot of digital images, I would be there like nitpicking and sort of like cloning out stuff and trying to clean up an image as much as possible. But with film and shooting on 35mm in particular, I love all the imperfections. It's so delightful to see imperfections within an image because, yeah, it's kind of dirty, but dirty's fun. I'm shooting on 800 ISO film in very, very hard, challenging lighting conditions. Yet it's the speed of the film. That's what I'm working with, and it's produced a beautiful image. And the imperfections is kind of what makes film. Like, that's the beauty of film, right? Is you don't know if the film's even going to come out. Oh, this is cool. I love the halation on the lights. Let's just see straight. I kind of love playing with just the histogram. I'm a little bit lazy like that. Yeah, it's instantly coming to life. I might also just, don't judge me. Maybe too much? It's quite a weird one, isn't it? Is the road straight or is it just me being wonky? I think I'm just being wonky. I'm not overly like crazy about it, but I do like the fact that there's some really obvious halation going on. It's like, yeah, nice one, bro. You use film that's got halation. Anyway, enough of that. So yeah, again, just bring in a shitload of contrast into this image. I'm just getting playful with it, just seeing what happens when you do bring contrast into the image. And for me, done. Simple as that. Not a huge amount, but enough. Okay, moving on swiftly. Yo, that's fucking sick. Oh my gosh, this is why I love street photography. And I mean, there's so many things in this that I'm enjoying. So for example, again, we have got a lot of halation going on, but these like sort of like cube light boxes are really playful. They just have such a dynamic feel to them. And then you've got the fluorescent like strip lighting in this sort of industrial scene. And the things that are standing out for me are, you've got like 3 people here, like 3 people, that's cool. And then you've got the cones sort of relating nicely to the lights. There's a lot of like cool symmetry and sort of lines going on that I've obviously picked out, but I've forgotten that I've taken these photos because I took them back in January. This is quite a fun game. Ooh, surprise, that hide and seek. What else we got going on? I'm sort of like dissecting these images right now. I mean, I've not even edited it. Like, that's the crazy thing. I've not even touched anything and it looks that good. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, let's just play with it a smidge. Again, relax down a little bit. I'm just actually gonna raise it up in exposure a smidge, and then bring some more contrast into the image that way. Let's see what the highlights. All right, okay. I kind of like the kind of blown out highlights feeling. Yeah, cool. All right. Nice. I really don't need to do a huge amount to this image. I'm really quite happy with it. Again, I think that just makes it too moody. You know what? I'm really happy with this image. All I've done is added a bit of contrast. I've left the blacks at 0. I've added a smidge more in the highlights, just because I kind of want to over-exaggerate this halation ever so slightly. And I've raised the exposure. Okay, and I've messed with the curve a little bit. just a little bit. Okay, I'm happy with this. Here's the before and after. Instantly, it's a yes from me. Yep, happy, moving on. It's fucking crazy. It's my 3rd shot of the roll. Like, I'm gonna just give myself a pat on the back for that one. Thank you very much. Not being arrogant or anything, this is just a really fun game that I'm enjoying. All right, so first and foremost, we're in the city. I think I'm on that bridge. And by the way, like, I'm super excited to make not only this video, but the other bits and bobs that I've shot in Japan. It's just great, isn't it, film? So I am just gonna straighten this up because it is doing my head in, and don't judge me. I have definitely noticed with my film photography is that I actually kind of struggle to get the alignment bang on every time. Like, I think coming from digital photography, where it's got all the like spirit level in your viewfinder, in your little EVF, and then jumping into just a point and shoot where it doesn't have any electronics and it's just a rangefinder, it's really hard to get it bang on every time. Like, I will put my hands up to this. And with this one, I just want to see what killing the blacks has done completely. Oh, hey! Maybe there. Yeah, let's just... It's trial and error. Like, I think with any editing, it's trial and error. I don't mind the fact that sometimes you've really got to, like, you know, work that slider and see what resonates with you the most. And 9 times out of 10, I'd be really extreme and bold with it, and then I'd like back it way off. And I'm like, ooh, actually, let's just give a +8 on that bad boy. There's not a huge amount that this image is doing for me. Maybe this sort of like reflective almost on the signage on the road. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think on a higher scan, I would have more joy editing this, but for the best part, that's the before and after. It's okay. It's not my favorite. I like this bit though. That's cool. That's a cool bit. Yeah, moving on. Hashtag regrets for this one, in my opinion. I mean, definitely rushed it. I remember coming away and actually telling my friend Hack, oh, I shouldn't have taken that photo. And what the heck is that? Like, what's going on there? Quickly rattle on through this. I don't like this shot at all. There's not much going on for me. Big regrets. But now I'm playing with it, it's starting to grow on me a little bit. I think actually, let's just bring up the exposure on this and then drop down the blacks and see what it does for the mood. It's making it a bit better. It's making it a bit more fun. I think what's going on, my problem here, there's like too much of a cluster. Maybe if I had done it landscape rather than portrait, I think that's where I'm going wrong here. I think landscape, I tell you what, on second, that's really funny. As I was doing this, I realized that there's a train in the scene, and I think that's my biggest regret, not shooting this in landscape. But hey, you live and you learn. I should do a preview. I'm just gonna do a before and after. See, less is more, I think, with film photography, as we're discovering in this video. Sick. I love this shot. That's cool. That's really, really cool. Like, yo, look at the downlighting from this signage and look what it's done to here. I also love the sort of like the way the road is like wiggling in. It's sort of like, it makes your eye look to the sort of monstrosity of a building that's in front of you, and it's just a parking lot. Like, parking lot? Am I American? It's just a car park. All right, let's get a bit creative with this one. I'm just gonna start with raising the exposure just to see. I'm just gonna raise everything a little bit and then work backwards. So, just dropping the shadows. You see, I kind of like the blown out element of that signage, like women's and men. Yeah, I'm not too much into that sign, so I'm gonna rock the highlights the other way and purposely blow out that signage, because not only is it disguising what's behind it, it's also adding a little bit more fun to this scene down here. But I do kind of want the blacks to dip off ever so slightly more, and I do want the mids to come in a bit more. Is that too much? Maybe. I'm cool with that. Let's see what the before and after saying. Yep, that's it for me. Happy with this image. Nice, cool. Moving on. I think that's one of my favorites. Again, straight in with the wonky shot. Nah, I don't like this. It's one of those shots that you feel like it's going to be a good shot, and then you get it back and you're just like, well, it just didn't work out. I think what was going on here, there was a shiny reflective surface running down. There was quite like a metallic-y neon sign. Yeah, I can't remember what that place was, but I think it was like a game store or something like this. Yeah, the halation's kicking off though. But yeah, I'm not even gonna bother. Not even gonna bore you. Oh, here's pretty cool. I like the motion. It's not the best shot, I'll be honest, but when you bring a bit of contrast into the scene, brings a bit more character to it. Maybe, maybe not. Again, you can't always win in photography. I kind of like this. The first glance, I was like, what is going on? But actually, I think I remember taking this shot, and it was the first or second time that I'd used the flash on the contacts just to see what it was doing. And it's really quite a savage shot because I'm taking a picture of a mirror. And I mean, let's be totally honest here, like, I'm flash gunning a mirror, yet it hasn't blown out the whole image, and there's this chandelier that I kind of love. I love the sort of the shape in the stairwell as well as the shape in the mirror. I love the lift. It's a weird scene. It's quite booky. I'm into it. You might not be into it. I'm into it. I mean, photography is subjective, so give me a break. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Not a huge amount. I just pretty much straightened it because it was quite wonky. Okay, I like this. Again, I'm just gonna go straight in with a little correction to just making it straight on the horizon. I like the motion in here. Obviously this car, no way, I think that's actually my favorite car. That's a Nissan GTR. There's a lot of like parking, like obviously high-rise parking. If anyone's watched Tokyo Drift, you know exactly what I mean with the big spinny lift, like parking lots. And they have a lot of neon signs. They have a lot of like bright signage. They're really, really interesting. I always find that the walkway in front of the high-rise car parks are really interesting places to photograph because people are just walking past, like, and they're sometimes called cars, and yeah, people are just going about their business. But this photo, it's not the best. Again, just less is more. Like, it's not the best image, so I'm just gonna move on. Okay, let's just give that a little flip. All right, what have we got here? We've got a nice, I do love the cabs in Tokyo. They are pretty special. Nice black, they're super, super shiny. Like, the one thing I've noticed whilst photographing in Japan is everything is so clean. It's by far like one of the cleanest places I've ever been. I have noticed in some of the images, and this could have been from maybe a light leak, or it could also be from an X-ray. I've noticed these like blobs. Yeah, they're there again. So I was traveling for 6 months, and I tried my absolute best to, one, keep the film away from scanners whilst traveling through airports and in transit, and two, tried to keep the film as cool as possible. But the problem is when you're taking images and then you're leaving the rolls of film like just rattling around in your bag, going through all sorts of different climates, all sorts of different airports, you don't know what is going to happen to that film. And that's it, like, that's the result of not fully taking care of my film and getting it developed as quickly as possible. The before and after of this, again, not my favourite shot. I'm just trying, I'm just learning, like, I'm gonna put my hands up. This has been a very, very exciting year for me because shooting on film, it's got me to think outside of the box in so many different ways with regards to the limitations of film and the way that film behaves in different scenarios, the different film stocks and how they behave in different scenarios. And like for example here, how you have to be really careful with how you store your film and how you look after and how you travel with your film. All these things have been such a big learning for me in this process of, you know, shooting on film for a year. And this was, one of the first rolls that I shot on my contacts. But yeah, moving on. Okay, so, this was really cool. I bumped into these two guys and it was just around the corner from this crazy chandelier shot and the lighting was similar. Saw these guys, I just said hi to them and I literally was like, hey, can I take your shot? And they were super, super up for it. And I'm really happy I got it. I love interacting with people in different countries, especially as I am not natively from Japan. So it was a really good test of my basic Japanese and just being a human, just interaction. And that's what I actually love about photography, and the interactions that you have within the space of, I wanted to ask these guys if they wanted to be in my photo and to make a photo of them, and they were up for it. Again, it's such a shame that I have been subjected to scanning abuse. Bloody scanners, man. Like, some airports are really forgiving and they want to help you out because they understand what you're trying to do, and in some other airports you come against language barriers and all sorts of conflicts, and that's okay, but obviously it's a shame when you get blobs all over your images. It's not really the best image, let's be honest. Like, it's not a huge amount. Maybe if I were to crop in and just make it about those guys, I think that's where that to me is slightly better. I love the fact that they've got a Vogue in their hand, and I love the sort of like posing that's going on here. Yeah, Japan's cool, man. There's some real good characters, really, really cool characters. Here's the before and after. Just, again, nothing major. Oh, it's a real shame about the bloody fucking blobs. This is cool. We got this. We got this woman like taking her dogs for a stroll in a little like pram thing. I love the fact that the road is sort of like a sweeping. It's cool. I like the composition. It feels well balanced. There's lines going down here. There's lines going across here. There's some weight. There's stuff in the image, and it feels quite balanced. Like there's things, even like this little section over here. Just it does the image justice. It sort of draws your attention. Firstly, I think to the light here, but then instantly I'm drawn to these guys, and I think that's why I made the photo. Again, just whacking down the blacks, crushing those blacks, keeping the shadows at bay. Just gonna take a little smidge of the greens out. Okay, and that is that. Again, just like taking just some of the fade out of the image, bringing some contrast, which ultimately brings some life to the image. Oh, this is cool. I like this a lot. Let's start with just raising some of the exposure. Let's see what's possible, because evidently that didn't work. Okay, cool. I like it a lot. It's doing a lot for me. I love the fact that, firstly, the thing that jumps out for me, and this is why I love photography, because it's all so subjective, but we've got this guy over here in this like sort of billboard-esque, and I love the way that he's sort of like, he's like gesturing, and it brings the eye straight for me to this guy crossing the street. It's just really fun. Like, I really have a lot of fun shooting street photography, and especially shooting street photography in Tokyo. What a cool vibe. So yeah, here's the before and after. Nothing mad. Again, just doing the God's business of putting some contrast in the image. And you know what? Just for good measure, I'm just going to relieve some of that green. Oh, that's done wonders. Wow. Okay. That did a lot for me. That did a lot for me. Let's just do a before and after. You can see straight away, like, the amount of green that's in the shadows. I'm accepting of it, but I don't like it. I really don't like it. So yeah, moving on. These are fun. I like doing this. This is good fun. Classic. Just a boring, busy street. There's nothing crazy going on here. I'm just gonna do a little crop. Just gonna rattle through this now. Bip, 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 bip. Bit of that, bit of that. No, it's not even worth. It's just a waste of my time. There's the before and after. Waste of your time. There we go. There's a good shot. Yeah, cool. All right, let's sink into this with them. So I'm just going to start by straightening it first and foremost. Okay, just looking at the image, there's quite a lot that I'm enjoying here. So I'm just going to start by picking off the obvious. So we've got the halation from the light. I love this. And then we've got the red here, followed by the little no sign with a man in it. And then you got a guy who's in red. And then you got red behind him. And then if you scroll to the right, you've got more red. So like the eye's naturally scanning for me down, and then you've got little red bits over here. Like for me, I'm picking that up quite quickly. And look, and also you've got red nails here, so that's also pointing to this guy over here. That's a cool shot, man. I'm really happy with this. And he's just chilling. He's just doing his day. He's just going about his business, making a phone call, doing his thing, standing where he probably shouldn't be standing, and I'm taking a picture where I probably shouldn't be taking a photo. But let's just give it a little edit. I mean, again, straight out of the bat, I'm really, really, really impressed with this stock. I love this film stock. I'm gonna buy a lot more if I can get my hands on it. Wow. Okay, so instantly just dropping the black level ever so slightly. Bringing down the highlights a smidge, but I'm also just going to raise exposure and bring some more contrast into it. Not too much, Luke. Less is more, less is more. Okay, and then I'm just going to bring oh, look at that. Okay, you know what? I'm really happy with that image. I think it's awesome. Is it bang on straight? There we go. Awesome. Cool. All right. I'm really happy with that. You're happy. Okay. All right. There's a lot of motion. There's a lot of motion in this. All this AI crap. Fuck off. Leave me alone. I just want to take photos. I'm excited to actually get in a proper Lightroom and do some editing. Okay. I mean, I'm in Lightroom now, but I'm in like a proper... I'm in a dark room. Oh my god, I'm getting tired. The dark side of photography. Awesome. You know what? At first glance, I wasn't overly keen, but actually, I think it's quite a playful image, and I think what I'm gonna do is just take some of it. I'm just gonna crop it in ever so slightly, just to make it a bit more balanced. I think somewhere like that. Yeah, cool. I'm into it. You don't have to be. I like the motion, and I like how everyone's in motion, and I like how this guy is just on he's crouched down having a fag, doom scrolling. And I like the bike just propped up. It brings something to it. Yeah, cool shot. Here's the before and after. You can see more blobs everywhere, but that's okay. We roll. Okay. Oh, this is the crazy. This is the neon sign that is like a casino or some sort of gambling place, games room. I can't quite remember. I think I just took it because I was seeing it everywhere, and it's not necessarily the coolest shot. Just like this guy, he knows what's up. He's yawning. That's how I feel. Moving on. What do we have here? Oh, some guy smoking. I remember. Can I just quickly say, like, this Contax hasn't really missed a shot yet. Like, let's be honest. The focus has been pretty much 9 times out of 10 spot on. I mean, it's a 2.8 lens, and I'm shooting on 800 ISO film. So I'm really, really impressed with how this camera is dealing with all the variables. I do remember this shot in my head coming out a lot better than what I'm seeing now. A bit boring, if I'm honest. Everyone seems to smoke and doom scroll, like, I mean, That is the world we live in currently. Yeah, it's just not doing it for me. I'm not even gonna bother. Here's the before and after. Moving it on. Nearly there. We've got 6 more shots to go. Another busy street, quite a basic shot. Sometimes in your head, you think it's going to be a different vibe, and then you see the results, and it's just not. Busy street, one for the memories, not for the gram. Okay, oh, here's my mate Tak. Hey Tak, how you doing? Bro, I got a cool shot of you, here we go. Let's get this edited for you, mate. I'm just going to be really bold with this. Like a bull in a china shop. I like it. I mean, first and foremost, he's my good friend. Tak, if you're watching, how you doing, bro? It's good to see you on my screen. This shot isn't that bad. Just gonna bring a bit more life into it. Here's the before and after. Happy with that. I might just do a smidge crop, just a tiny baby one, just to line it up. Cool. Moving on. What's going on here? Oh, that's a shit shot. Awful. What were you thinking, Luke? That's the worst shot I've ever taken in my life. I'm not even going to bother to show you before and after. What's going on here? Street photography gone wrong. That's what's going on there. I guess this woman wasn't meant to be part of the image. I think I was just meant to be photographing people eating. And I'm not a huge fan of photographing people eating, but in this scenario, it was probably a cool environment. I was probably just overexcited. It's a shit shot. I need to get off it. Also, not the best shot. No. Is it? No. Oh, man, these last few have been disappointing so far. It's just not doing it for me. Will this help? Will this help? Kind of, maybe. Give it a chance, Luke, come on. Give it a chance. Maybe. Oh man, sometimes it just don't work. There's the before and after. Someone could like this. I personally think it's a waste image. It's growing on me. The more I look at it, the more I like it. But like for the best part, it's not like crazy good. Okay, last 2 shots. Are they gonna be good? Wish me luck. Okay. What have we got? Ooh. I mean, it's a good start. Okay, right. So I'm just gonna pay tribute to the halation gods. Thank you, halation gods, for all that you do. I do love a bit of halation. Like, who doesn't? It's so much fun. It's so playful. It's just elegant. It's just delicious to look at. One of the top tips from this video, if you've made it this far, is to get your films developed ASAP. Otherwise, you're going to be pulling your hair out like I'm doing. Anyway, this is cool. I'm just going to give it a smidge straighten. I really like this image. You know what? This is going to be my first full screen image. Okay, I'm into it. It's the thing that's doing it for me is obviously the halation and this guy. I don't know why that guy. I love the shadowing, like the sort of like the fall off. I'm struggling to articulate words now because I'm getting a bit tired. But yeah, the fall off of the light up here, it's really cool. Nice. I like it. It's good. I'm just gonna keep on playing with it until I'm really happy. Yeah, I think that's me. Here's the before and after. Just again taking that fog out of the image. Okay, so this is the last image of the roll. Drum roll, please. Hey! Whoa! What do we have here then? what do we have here? More halation is is what we've got there, and it's pretty cool. I'm gonna do the same. I think I'm just gonna drop a bit of that, do a bit of that, bring a bit of contrast into the image, drop the highlights just a smidge. See, I've got it down. Like, if you've not already guessed by now, I don't go over the top crazy with my film images. I do go crazy when I see so much green in the image. It's a balance, isn't it, though? Because I'm gonna move like more into the sort of like purpley magenta-y colour rather than the horrible green. Cool. Yeah, I'm happy. I think that's the before and after. I like the purple. The purple is a vibe. So for me, the absolute standouts were, it's got to be this one. I think this is going to be one of my favourite shots from this roll, followed by this one. This might be the one. I mean, for my first roll on a brand new camera, I'm pretty happy. Like, one, it's a beautiful film. Umi 800, incredible film stock, as we found out. Two, Japan is just so much fun to shoot. There's endless amounts of funsies to rattle off. Lots of lights. It's perfect for a film that like emphasizes the sort of like world of halation. I'm really happy with how the majority have. This is a cool photo. I think that's a cool shot. It's interesting. It's got movement. It's playful. It's doom scrolling. We've got someone reading some sort of paper. Like, there's so much that you could dive into these images. And so yeah, I guess to sort of like round off, to summarize this film, the takeaways I would have are, if you're traveling for an elongated amount of time, get yourself some sort of lead pouch, or make sure that your film doesn't go through the scanner, because you will come up against horrible artifacts in your film, and it's obviously quite depressing. Also, I would just, get your films developed as quickly as possible. I think it's probably just the biggest takeaway from going through these. And like, I've had a lot of fun doing this. If you're the minute percentage of people that have made it to the end of this video, comment Umi 800, you go girl, because that's how I feel about this film. But without further ado, I am going to love you and leave you. If you haven't seen my previous video about my dream camera, the Contax T2, please go and watch it after this video, because as you've seen, some of the images out of it are really awesome, and that video sort of dives in a little bit more about the journey of how I came to, work towards something, and how it's always been a dream camera, and it's quite a fun, playful film. If you've made it this far and you're hearing me speak, do give it a like. And if you're new and you've enjoyed this content and you enjoy the content on the rest of my channel, consider a subscribe, because I'd love to have you in for the journey. But for the time being, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I will see you in the next video. So have a good one. Bye.